For today, I'd like to borrow part of your choreography from last week and explore the idea that moral status is a function of the capacity to love. This, I think, will lead to a reformulation of your argument about cursing.
Hey, that sounds promising.
My colleague Dwight Furrow and I have been developing a theory of agency over the years that takes love and truth to be central to autonomous agency. Our work relates most closely to the ideas developed by Harry Frankfurt and Christine Korsgaard and various feminist philosophers on the one hand, and Emmanuel Levinas and Alain Badiou and some other contemporary continental philosophers on the other. And we've published a couple of articles on the topic.
Really, I would love a copy of those. What is an element or two of your theory?
One way of understanding the idea that moral status depends on the capacity to love is in terms of dignity. Dignity tracks greatest intrinsic value. We might think that dignity is grounded in the ability to reason, because we might think the capacity to reason has the greatest intrinsic value. Or we might think that dignity is derived from the will's ability to freely choose the ends pursued in action. Or, as you have urged us to see, we might think that dignity is a function of being made in the likeness of God.
Good, right. There's a lot of options here.
So following the lead of some ancient, medieval, and some more recent philosophers, we've attempted to make sense of the idea that moral status is grounded in the capacity to love. Turns out that the capacity to love, at least as this is conceived in our tradition by Plato, Aristotle, Thomas, Frankfurt, and others, is a complex capacity, essentially involving logical, epistemic, and volitional powers.
Hey, you are kind of singing to the choir here.
I hear Bach's organ in the background. While reasoning, knowing, and willing have intrinsic value, each is also partly constitutive of and extrinsically valuable as a means to having and exercising the capacity to love. So we argue that reasoning, knowing, and willing are mixed goods, as Plato would call them. The capacity to love, on the other hand, is intrinsically valuable, constitutive of happiness, and a final good not pursued for any further end. The ultimate good, as Aristotle would put it.
That's very interesting. And let's assume that's all correct. Still, what is love?
Well, the concept of love that's been developed in the tradition is quite complicated, so we won't go into all the details here. But to love someone, you must know what is in fact good for them as opposed to what is merely apparently good for them. You must be able to figure out how to help them achieve what is in fact good for them, which involves quite a bit of practical deliberation. And you need to be appropriately motivated to help them. Their flourishing must be among the most important ends you pursue in action, and you must pursue their flourishing for their own sake and not because it benefits you. So this takes a lot of canalizing of love to make sure that your motivational set is correct.
Yes, your view sounds like it gives support to the famous quote that love is a many splendored thing.
Oh, and it makes the world glorious. Probably won't surprise you that we see this sort of view developed in the Johannine Christian tradition, although Dwight and I try to develop our view in a secular philosophical. So if God is love, and we're made in the image of God, then we are made in the image of love. If God is love and God has supreme moral status and preeminent dignity, then love has supreme moral status and preeminent dignity.
That's a pretty tight connection that you've drawn there.
So you can see the bridge from the Johannine to the secular here. On our view, to undermine or disrespect someone's capacity to love is to undermine and disrespect someone's dignity, and this diminishes or damages one's moral status and is morally wrong.
I'm tracking with you, but can you apply this to something concrete?
Yeah, let's apply it to your case of cursing. If cursing someone disrespects and undermines their capacity to love, or if cursing someone intrinsically involves the intention to disrespect and undermine their capacity to love, then cursing someone diminishes and damages one's moral status and is morally wrong.
Yeah, that application has several layers. To oversimplify it, you're saying if A or if B, then C.
Right. And at this point, it's important to note that while cursing someone is surely disrespectful, we don't think cursing someone actually undermines their capacity to love. If cursing damages anyone's moral status, it disrespects and undermines the moral status of the person who curses. When a person curses, they undermine their own capacity to love, and not that of the person they curse, which is why the formulation involves the if be part, as you put it.
Yeah, there's lots to say here. I want you to have the last word of this dance. Can you conclude or sum up?
Well, I think we agree on this. No one should curse anyone because we are all images or likenesses of God, where, on our view, God is love. But it seems that I come to a conclusion slightly different from yours. You conclude I should not curse someone else because they bear the image and likeness of God. And I would prefer to conclude that I should not curse someone else because we both bear the image and likeness of God. And in particular, I'm damaged by doing it.
Mark, thank you for this second round of the Dance of Reason.
And thank you, Russell. See you soon.